Alright, let's do this. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to the Uper Farmer Cigar Garage Talks. How's everyone doing tonight? I'm doing pretty good. Sitting back, finally back in the garage. Looks like full time now, at least until spring hits. So I'm kind of settling back in. I'm thinking about changing up the scenery a little bit. I'm going to relight my candle. Kind of liked having the candles and ambiance the last couple of videos. Who knows? Not like it does much of anything. It's not like it's scented or citronella or anything like that. It's kind of nice to have a little addition. There you go. A little flair. Alright, let's get rid of the formalities here. What are we drinking tonight? Tonight, we have a good old Oktoberfest from Shirley Brewing Company. Specifically picked an Oktoberfest beer because this is going to be the start of the October series, the Haunted EMS Tales. Now, it is not October yet for this first video. I wanted to make sure to get this one in though before the actual start of October. I'm doing the month of scary stories. Yeah, nice Oktoberfest. Very light beer. Let's give it a try. Not bad. It's a good Oktoberfest. I don't mind that one at all. The cigar tonight is the Liga Zebra. Liga the Zebra. My last one, actually, from the pack I bought back when I started this series, actually. Or I started this video series, so quite nice to smoke this one. I haven't smoked in quite a while. I've been saving it to the end of summer, which this officially now marks the end of summer now that I'm back in the garage full time. And no longer out and about on the deck or at the bonfire. So let's get right into it. Let's do the spooky EMS stories. These are stories that are crazy, scary, nerve-rattling, bone-chilling, and then some. So tonight's story starts off with a dispatch. Sorry, I got some bugs in here. Trying to swat some of these flies. Dispatched out to a woman in, I believe it was actually respiratory arrest. So full respiratory arrest. First responders, police were en route before us. It was kind of out in the sticks a little bit, hard to find. We go rolling up onto the scene. We've got our jump kits, our monitors, our IV bags are spiked. We've got everything to run a code. And as we run in, it's just, you got those hairs pop up on the back of your neck. This is one of those homes, or one of these scenes that just, I don't know what it was. Something wasn't adding up. And that's not to say anything outwardly was notably wrong. Looking around, it was kind of a nice little semi-urban, semi-country-esque house. The to be expected junk in the yard and debris and whatnot. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Nothing that really would raise a bunch of red flags. But you know what it was? Me and my partner both kind of got this like, whew, if law wasn't already here, we might have waited to go on scene for this one. Something wasn't right. So we're heading into the house. We get in there, get a report from first responders, and it turns out this is a DOA. The lady had expired. Well, we get there, and it's just bizarre. She's on top of a bunch of mattresses, about at least 4 or 5 mattresses that are stacked on top of each other, and she's pretty much naked except for some underclothes. That was kind of weird. All right. She had signs of rigor and whatnot, and She also had some foaming around her mouth, which was bizarre, odd, not unheard of. Again, that does happen, but just kind of, that's odd. Her husband was in basically just underwear. And this was a fall day. It was September, October range. I believe it was actually October, middle of October. So it's not like it was really hot out. So we start kind of doing our reports and our rundown. We were going to wait for the funeral home, which was kind of the de facto coroner, to come pick up the body. And just the whole time, something wasn't right. I even told my partner, I was like, I'm going to run back to the rig. I forgot something. And I didn't really forget anything. It was I need a moment. I need a moment just to look around and see what's going on. And my partner kind of caught wind of it too, and he wanted to do the same, but only one of us was allowed to leave the patient. Even if the patient was DOA, one of us had to stay with the patient till the funeral home came and picked him up. Well, as I walked out to the rig, my tunnel vision, my excitement to go do a code had relaxed, so I could kind of open my gaze a little bit more. And I started seeing the handles and hilts of knives everywhere. Under couches, under cushions, behind paintings, tucked away in a bookshelf, behind DVDs. There were just every type of knife you could think of. Steak knife, Bowie knife, butcher knife. Lots of steak knives. Lots and lots of steak knives. I was like, that's odd. So I go out. I think I was grabbing an extra pen or something. And my partner got to look around the room while he was with the body, and he kind of got the spidey sense too. And we're kind of sharing what we had found. And out of nowhere, the husband starts to dig around a closet and produces a shotgun. Cops quickly tackle him, wrestle the shotgun away from him. But the motion he was doing, it didn't really look like he was going to shoot at us or at the officers. He was going to commit suicide. He was getting close to shooting himself. So we have no idea what's going on. They arrest him, throw him in a cop car. I tell the officer, look, I've got to look around this house. Something's not right. Something's bizarre. And so I start walking around. All of a sudden I see a big pot of Kool-Aid on the stove. I was like, well, that's just odd. Who would make Kool-Aid on a stove? And one of the first responders stayed with the body. My partner says he was going to join me. Something was wrong. We didn't want to be, we were going to keep paired up when we searched this room or this house. And so I look at this Kool-Aid on this stove, and there's a thin layer of powder, it looks like, almost at the bottom. And, I don't know, was there a lot of sugar in there or what? And just as my brain is able to interpret what I'm seeing, process it, and translate it so I can understand it, my partner sees all the pill bottles just tucked behind or next to the stove. He's like, hey, look, it's all their medications, all these empty pill bottles. And he starts reading off the labels, and it's a lot of narcotics, antipsychotics, and a myriad of other drugs. All the bottles were empty. So what it was, they had made a poisonous Kool-Aid. And then my brain just starts processing, going quicker and quicker, and it dawns on me, oh my gosh, they have children. Because I remember seeing pictures, so I yelled to one of the officers. I was like, look, I don't want them showing up on this scene, stop the bus. We had a victim's advocate who'd come around the scenes. Like, get the victim's advocate. They were already on the bus. We found out they were able to contact the school, but they'd have the bus pull over or slow down, or at least so the victim's advocate could get there first. But then it all of a sudden dawns on me. I look around at the table. There are cups set out for all the children and for the husband and wife for this Kool-Aid. Kind of a little bit of a treatier dinner. they were going to poison themselves and their kids. Go back and look at the woman, and she has the foam and the froth, which is probably from the narcotics overdose, but you can also see a little bit of red on the corners of her mouth. She had tested the Kool-Aid to see if you could taste the drugs, I'm guessing, again, assumption, and it turns out it was more potent than she gave it credit for, and she ended up committing suicide. So that was creepy. The husband later on kind of confirmed to police that, yeah, their plan was to kill themselves and their family because they believed this, that, or the other thing was coming for them and was better for their children to pass on to the next life than to sit in this one and suffer. Just really creepy. I mean, you felt bad. The kids, and all the pictures, of course, everyone smiles in pictures. The pictures you post, the pictures you put up. Everybody smiles. That's just what you do. It was, however, though, just creepy knowing that had this mother not tried the Kool-Aid, or it didn't take her out in the first dose, that we'd be responding to a family of 5 that were DOA. That there are just truly people that are deranged. And a husband and wife team. I've heard of other stories where the wife goes crazy or the husband goes crazy, but this was husband and wife were planning this. And clearly these kids lived in a life of fear. Just looking around, I mean, knives I'm assuming the parents had them there to protect themselves from whatever evil they were scared of. But just bewildering and baffling to see all this, to see these how crazy people can be. So anyway, they eventually the cops took off the husband. They collected the children. The victim's advocate did. The funeral home showed up, took the body out, and then we were cleared. Me and my partner, I mean, we drove home. We didn't talk. Got to the station. We didn't talk to anyone. I must have sat in front of the report computer for a good solid 30 minutes with the only words I had was arrive on scene to find, and that was it. I didn't know how to word it. How do you phrase it? How do you put that? That you just feel something was wrong, and this was just almost pure evil that you were walking in upon, that this husband and wife were about to do to their children. So, still it was scary, disturbing, crazy, whatever you want to call it. That's what that happened that night, or that day. Again, it was, I think, the 2nd or 3rd week of October. Cold, chilly. Again, you just get that spidey sense. I always recommend to people, if you get that spidey sense, listen to it. Your brain can process and interpret more than it can translate for you to understand. So if you get that sense, get out. Or become aware and be ready. Anyway, there's the number 1 of the Halloween spooky EMS war stories. I hope you enjoy that. And hope everyone's staying safe out there. And we'll see you on the next one.